I kind of feel ripped off and shortchanged because normally I get to do this with my class. You know, this is one of those deals where we're in school and I gotta watch my students color. Kind of feel ripped off, so I think I'm just gonna make a video and do it myself. So I'm gonna start by coloring the ribosomes black, and you know, because they look like BBs and they're little, and this is where proteins are made, protein synthesis. I'm coloring the ones on the endoplasmic reticulum black, and I'm not going to take up a whole bunch of time doing that. I'm just going to color a few of them black, and then I'm going to come out here and I'm going to color my mitochondria brown. This is where ATP gets made, the energy for the cell. These things on the inside are called cristae. This is the actual site where ATP gets generated. Let's see, still coloring. I think I'm going to color my Golgi apparatus, kind of a reddish color, and the only reason I'm going to do that is because when I reached into the box I happened to pick up a red colored pencil. The Golgi apparatus packages up any kind of thing that needs to basically get pushed out of the cell. It creates a thing called a vesicle, and forms a lipid bilayer around something and pushes it out of the cell. My little cell coloring thing is a little bit misleading because, you know, for example, there's cells in your heart that have thousands of mitochondria, and this just makes it look like there's, you know, what, 1, 2, 3. So, whereas a fat cell is not going to have that many. Now these are fun. These are the digestive organelles called lysosomes, and basically they help break things down, or intruders. They annihilate intruders. My endoplasmic reticulum, I think, would be great if it were. What do you guys think? I'm trying to find a colored pencil here that still has its lead. I haven't improved on my colored pencil collection since last March, when the COVID shutdown took place. So I'll color my rough ER, kind of a, what would you call that, teal? Okay, I'm going to color my rough ER teal. And this is like a highway system, the transport system for the cell. It moves things from the nucleus out into the cytoplasm. The rough ER is covered with ribosomes. Now I'm even coloring my smooth ER. My smooth ER doesn't have any ribosomes on it. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Now the sort of the skeletal structure of the cell, the microtubules that kind of hold all the cytoplasm together, kind of like a spider web all throughout the cell. The best way they could graphically do that is to put these little X's throughout there. These are my microtubules. And of course, I saved yellow for my nucleus because it's kind of like an egg yolk a little bit. That's where all the DNA is the chromatin, which is the material that DNA is made of. Yeah, that's my nucleus. And then inside the nucleus would be a kind of a condensed blob. This is where the ribosomes are made. This is called the nucleolus. I think I've covered most of the organelles. I've got my mitochondria, my Golgi apparatus. Oh, some cells can move. This makes it, puts a tail on this one to make it look like it moves. In this case, a single tail on a cell, like a prokaryote that can swim around in the water, or a sperm cell that could swim up the vaginal canal. Anyway, this is called a flagella. Yeah, a bunch of them. Some of them have more than one, are called flagellum. Anyway, I think I covered. So this kind of white space is filled with a goop called cytoplasm. The area all the way around, this is the cell membrane. Okay, there's your cell membrane. The nucleoplasm is just the goop inside here. The nuclear membrane would be the area all around here, the lipid bilayer that surrounds the nucleus. The nucleolus I talked about, the flagella I talked about, the ribosomes are these little protein makers, and there's some out here too. Smooth ER, rough ER, mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, lysosomes, and microtubules. Okay, shifting real quick, I think I have time. We can look at a plant cell, which is a little bit different, not much. And for starters, I need to color all of my chloroplasts green. That's a non-negotiable because they're full of a pigment called chlorophyll. So inside here is this thylakoid membrane stacked upon one another and a syrupy stuff called the granum. Oops, the granum, that's, or the stroma, excuse me, that's where kind of the plant makes its glucose. And in keeping with my theme, let's color the mitochondria brown, okay? That way people can say, hey, you know, you were consistent in the way that you colored mitochondria brown every time. Way to go, you. Let's keep my ribosomes black, okay? Because, you know, a guy just should, because he did last time. And even the ones that are on the rough ER, they need to be black. See, my plant cell's a little bit different. It's surrounded by something called a cell wall, which is made of this stuff called cellulose, this complex carbohydrate. Really, really tough stuff that kind of keeps structure, keeps the cell, gives it structure. And you can tell that my cells, plant cells, really well hydrated because there's this vacuole that's full of water here. Check that sucker out, just teeming with water. It's in what's called a hypotonic state. It's well hydrated. It would shrivel up and wilt if it were in a hypertonic state. Here's my endoplasmic reticulums. That's the rough one. I forgot what color I was using last time. That's my smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So it's got a lot of the same stuff. The Golgi Apparatus, which is for packaging stuff up and getting rid of it. Yeah, a lot of the same stuff, but some different stuff. You know, definitely the cell wall out here and the chloroplast, that's different. Of course, there's my nucleolus, my nuclear membrane out here, and my nucleus. Looks like this diagram they tried showing you like chromatin, you know, which is what the DNA is made out of, all the chromosomes. This is my cytoplasm goo out here. Let's see, let me go down my checklist real quick. Cell membrane, that's going to be just inside the cell wall. The cell wall is that tough structure that I drew. The cytoplasm, all the goop out here. The nucleoplasm, that's the goop in there, just kind of holding it together. DNA, that's supposed to be DNA. I think this cheesy drawing is that's supposed to be DNA. The nucleolus, that's this bad boy here. The Golgi Apparatus, that's this guy out here, the packager. Where did I leave off? The vacuole, that's that blue thing full of hydration, you know, fluids. Ribosome, that's my BBs out here where proteins get made. Smooth ER, showed it right here. There's a smooth ER. Rough ER, it's got ribosomes on it, just makes it rough. The mitochondria, there's a few there. Chloroplast, that's the big solar panel of the cell. And I think, I don't see microtubules, but I could draw them, you know, they'd be like, just like that, those microtubules. All right, hey, good talk. You know, that was good for me because, man, I missed watching my students color. So, yeah, it says briefly describe the function. I think I did. So, hey, I did the assignment, and you guys got to watch. Good talk.